be with Dr. Bartholomew Orr, pastor, author, husband, family man, and thought leader as he encounters other believers who have impacted the world with their God-given gifts and talents. Let's meet the people who are moving the church forward with their faith, wisdom, direction, and innovation. It's spiritual, it's motivational, it's Church Forward.
Hey, welcome to another Church Forward conversation, chronicling the stories and lifestyles of some of the world's most innovative people who will share how their faith, wisdom, and direction help them to change lives and make a difference in these unprecedented times. And today, tired me get a chance to talk to a millennial. How's it going, Terrence?
It's going good. What about you, Pastor?
I am doing great. Oh, my goodness. Look, when I walked in and had to look up to you, you have just grown all the way up.
Yes, sir.
How old were you when your parents came?
I was about 11, 12, I believe.
Okay. So it's been 15 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow, that's all right. And my goodness, now you're blowing up.
Just trying to put in the work, just do the things that needs to happen, set the foundation for my business.
That's all right. So tell me about who Terrence Green Jr. is, and TJ, as I guess we call you. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
So I am the CEO and founder of TJ's Animation Workshop. We make animated videos that can be used for education, training, and even marketing for businesses. I started it when I was in college as a side business, and the path just followed all the way to now I'm full-time owning my own business.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I've called on you to illustrate some of my sermons.
Yes,
and I think you've done a couple of videos that I've used in some of my sermons.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And those were probably one of the more fun videos that we get a chance. I love videos that get a chance to tell a story and illustrate and visualize different points and messages.
Well, so this was so interesting. I was at a meeting in Memphis, and it was at a business. I've forgotten the name of it, but they, it's the business center,
Right.
Down close to downtown Memphis.
Oh, the Office of Business Diversity and Compliance.
That's it.
Okay.
And so and they're looking at. I mean, I saw this little kind of animation thing, and I'm thinking to myself, man, it looks like TJ. Only to come find out, I think you had done their work for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I created that video just telling about what services they offer and about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, sir. The City of Memphis Office of Business Diversity and Compliance. Yes.
That is all right. So companies can kind of just hire you and give you the message, and you kind of take it and run with it.
Yes, sir. Like really, all they need to have is a goal. So they start with a goal of maybe they want to attract this many clients or this many leads. And then from there, we can help them decide how many videos they may need, what messages they may need to focus on. So a lot of the work really comes on the back end, like the scripting and storyboarding, planning and stuff like that. So a little bit of marketing.
So you're doing all of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. That is all right. So did you study it in school or?
So I started out as a kinesiology major. I wanted to play basketball going into school. So kinesiology was going to be my backup plan if it didn't happen.
Right.
I ended up not being able to try out for the team. And so I started, my business with an idea. And so kinesiology and business, it really didn't go together. I really was focusing more on my business. Don't tell my dad, but I was focusing more on my business than schoolwork at the time. And so I was thinking, why don't I just study something that helps me learn more about business? That way I can still get my school studies go. So I switched my major to business administration with a focus on marketing, business law, and operations.
Okay. Okay, say it one more time.
Kinesiology.
And so pretty much it's what, physical therapy?
Yes, sir. So you can study the body, physical therapy, and also people who want to be coaches, they also go under kinesiology as well, because you need to know about your players as well. And a lot of the sports are under the kinesiology major as well.
One of my former chairman of the Deacons, Arthur Robinson, was a therapist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And he actually, I think he's the one that introduced me to it because he was telling me about like the sports management side and the different areas that you can do. So he
Oh,
actually
wow.
introduced me to that the major was even a thing.
Oh, wow. Well, we didn't know too much about it until Arthur, came and was doing it and ran the department down there at the VA.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He was very active.
Well,
And,
small world, man. Okay, so you got 3 words to describe yourself. What would those 3 words be?
I would say persistent. Um, try to be hardworking. And then I'm more of a behind the scenes type of person. So in the background, like a lot of stuff that happens, I like to be in the background, just making sure everyone's fluid. I don't,
So you don't necessarily have to be out front.
right, right. I
Okay.
really prefer not to be out front, to be honest. Let everybody else kind of get to shine, team player, things like that.
My goodness. All right. Now, I know for the past 15 years you've been at Brown, but tell me about your faith journey.
So, of course, I started Brown. We were here at Brown, and then my dad, he's part of the pastoral staff, and then my mom's very active in the church media ministry.
Mhm.
So I would help a little bit with the media. Of course, my dad had me on the front row, and so I went to college. My faith never deterred, but of college, sometimes you don't go to church as much as you should, especially with me being a preacher's kid. I was always dragged to church.
Right.
So when I got to college, when you get that opportunity to kind of be free a little bit,
Uh-oh. Don't tell me you didn't go every Sunday.
not every Sunday.
Uh-oh.
But I can say towards the end of my college career, I did. My faith got a little stronger, and really, it's different when you get to make decisions for yourself and actually see
Okay.
why things happen. And you kind of like live life. You got to go through those trials and come back on the other side. And honestly, the college time really helped me understand how strong and how needed faith is. To be honest, like when things are going bad, just knowing that no matter what situation you're in, that God has a plan for you.
Right.
So I'm actually thankful for those college times because, now I feel like my faith is really stronger than ever because no matter what situation comes in, there, especially business, as you get older, there's a lot of situations. To be honest, I'm not really worried. Like, of
Okay.
course you may be worried, but at the end, things always do work out.
Was it a particular experience or situation that happened in college that kind of led you back to your roots?
I would say it would be stuff that happened over the years or just different things that's happened. Like sometimes my back would be against the wall and I have tried everything I can in my power to make something happen and it just simply wouldn't work. And then I know in one instance, I literally just like threw my hands up, like, a situation out of my hands, like, God, take care of it. And literally less than 5 minutes later, a solution came.
Wow.
So, it's hard to deny after events like that when you see for your own eyes and
Right.
experience, firsthand. So, like, I would say those
Hey,
situations.
I was preaching recently, miracles still happen.
They do.
God still works supernaturally in our lives. And I'm glad that a millennial get a chance to experience that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you really don't hear it talked about a lot, like in our age, because in social media, you really surround your followers, people you follow and your followers with people your age or in your environment, so you don't really get to see it talked about a lot, but it actually needs to be something, needs to be
Yeah.
talked about more, especially in the day and age we are now, where there's a lot of things that are tolling on us mentally, and a lot of mental challenges. So it definitely does need to be talked about more, especially in the younger generation, which is why I'm
Okay.
thankful for ministries like Pivot and, the next generation, next
All right,
gen.
you're throwing out these titles and names now, but Pivot is the actual young adult ministry here at Brown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, 25 to 45.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And just it really targets them to grow them in their faith, right?
Right, right. And then also like, bridge the gap because, people like kids, I still kind of consider myself a kid. I'm still younger. We still need mentoring, but
Right.
we're also in that space to where we can mentor the generation that's younger than us. So it's kind of like that bridge.
Well, I definitely see you all as that bridge generation. And it's because us old folks, we need to pour into you all.
Right.
And that younger generation, I think you all will have a greater opportunity of really ministering and making some changes in them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I also feel like each generation needs to see perspectives from the other generation. Like we each could learn something from each other and how things went. Especially like our generation, we have a lot to learn from your generation as well. And then there's some things that we can pass down to the younger generation,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are about to go into college or in school because they may be going through things that, they've never been introduced to these situations or things like that. They're just starting out.
Right.
So yeah, I wholeheartedly believe
Well, I'm
that.
going to put you on the spot. How was it growing up here at Brown? Give me the real scoop now.
So for me, it was different. So we moved from Jackson, Mississippi. The church that we were at in Jackson was a very small church. So it was a little adjustment coming to a church like Brown. At the time, we only had one campus when we came. But so it was an adjustment, but it really gave me an opportunity to really first meet a lot of different kids and like different schools, because to me I almost call it like the boiling pot of different schools, because you would get even kids from school from Memphis and things like that. So it gave me more opportunity to really kind of grow in more areas than faith. I got to get new experiences. I really got a chance to really explore different vocational options. Like media helped me just learn different skills. So it was a good experience. And I got to explore options. So it was good. It was good.
All right. Well, wisdom. What tips would you give young people who have dreams that require them to leave their comfort zone?
First have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you really don't have anything to chase after. And then after you have that goal, be laser focused on that goal. Have a plan. Like the plan is more than likely not going to work out, but having a plan so that you're not waking up and kind of wondering what should I do, or kind of lost on what to do. And then after that, never stop learning. Because you're going to mess up, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fail.
Now, I'm glad that's coming from a young person, because oftentimes the sentiment is, man, I can't wait to get through with school. I'm not going to pick up another textbook at all.
Right. And so I didn't like my mom used to say this, but she used to be like, you're going to go back to school. And I was like, I'm not going back to school, because I wasn't necessarily what you say a school person, just because, but now I value education and learning, just because I know even when I grow to be 70, I'm not going to know close to everything that I need to. And so just always having a learning mindset, I really feel like if you don't take anything else from what I say, having a learning mindset is really one of the biggest things that you need to have.
Well, what's one of the greatest lessons you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Never fear failure. So I say that because like one thing I always tell people is don't be afraid to try because you think you're going to fail. Because if you just keep postponing progress or starting, you're going to push back your entire journey, because you have to get through failure to get to your success. No matter how much you plan, no matter how much you try beforehand to prevent failure, you're not going to get 100% perfect on it.
Right.
So go ahead and try and just improve upon what you've already started. So that's been one of the biggest things that I learned, because when I try to wait, everything still, like, either I make a mistake somewhere or things still come up and obstacles still come up.
So in doing all of that, mentors, I mean, did you have individuals that poured into your life?
I definitely had different mentors along the way. Especially when I first got started, I had someone who sat down with me and helped me work on my pitch and communication, because communication is so important in business. You can have the best idea, but if you don't know how to communicate it, people are not going to get a chance to really understand the value that it brings. I had the opportunity to finally have a mentor in animation, which is one of the things I wanted when I first started. So I was able to find a mentor in that. So I've had different mentors in different areas to be able to guide me and things and kind of point me in the right direction.
That's fantastic. Well, look, I am with TJ. I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, invite some others to be a part of this church forward conversation with this millennial, this CEO entrepreneur. I mean, the opportunities that you all have these days are endless
Right.
in terms of what you can do, the places that you can go.
Right. And it's and we can really communicate with people across the country if we wanted to in this very digital age because my generation, I know I grew up with technology in my hand. I grew up with a phone in my hand. And it really wasn't until I started really getting uh the city of Memphis type clients that understood the gap there was with digital technology. Like to me, it was easy to use and it was very simple. But when I try to communicate those same things
Right.
to my clients, I saw that there was a gap in the understanding. And so that's one thing I now appreciate more than anything, just being able to have the digital technology and social media because it's made business more easier than I understand it used to be back in the day.
Well, when did you sense that God was kind of expanding you to step out on your own and to be an entrepreneur?
So I would say it was like my last month. So after I graduated, I worked at a logistics job as a
Okay.
broker. And so my last month, it was just like a feeling inside of me that it wouldn't go away about just animation. Because at one point, I was really going to retire/quit from animation. Like I went ahead and built a course that teaches people how to make animation. And I was just going to have that sitting up. So if anybody wanted animation, they
Oh,
could,
wow.
like I was ready to go ahead and stop.
Ready to retire at 20, at 25.
Right. I was
know?
ready. I was getting burnt out, but it was just a feeling that wouldn't let go. So I took some time off and really got to rest and really evaluate things. And I started looking for office space. Like to be honest, and I found a space, and it was a feeling that it's time. Like
Mm.
I was almost 100% confident that this is what I need to do. Like this, I at least need to try it. And so
So you've actually acquired office space?
yes, sir, in downtown
Oh,
Memphis.
go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. You're real legit.
Oh yes, sir. And so I got the office space, which I'm still in now, and I had a backup plan. I was like, I signed a 3-month lease, and I was like, if it doesn't work in 3 months, no harm, no foul. I'm still here today, going strong and actually very improving. So taking that step is probably one of the best decisions that God led me
That's all
to
right.
do.
So how did you come up with the whole idea of TJ's animation?
That is a great question. So I initially was going to build an app.
Okay.
And so the app was going to be for college students to be able to find events around campus.
Mm.
So I needed a way to explain that.
Did I ever tell you about my college app?
No,
Oh my goodness. I'm going to talk to you about that.
yeah. And so I needed a way to explain it. And I made an animated video because I found a software on Google.
Okay.
And so people understood, what the app was going to do, and they loved the video. And I was like, there's other small business owners who probably could use professional animation. And so I did that. And so I was making money currently at the time. And anything about apps, you have to wait years before you really start making money.
Right.
So I weighed the decision, make money now or build an app, spend money, then make money. And so that's how the idea of TJ's Animation Workshop was originated.
So did the pandemic, were you already in business before the pandemic or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I started the company officially in 2016. And the pandemic actually helped us kind of get out there more digitally because,
Because I guess everybody was doing everything digitally.
right. And before the pandemic, I was already using Facebook groups to find new clients. So I was already used to using social media and used to the, marketing on digital. And so the pandemic, we had the best year, you know, back then so far.
That's all right.
Mhm.
Well, so how can people support your business?
So we are on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, all under TJ's Animation Workshop.
Okay.
And then our website is www.tjsanimationworkshop.com, so they can find us on all those platforms.
My goodness. Wow. Have grown up owning your company. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see us having at least five what I call digital labs, like different labs to where youth and other people and business owners come to learn digital stuff, whether it's animation, coding, anything around that realm. And then I see us having at least two office spaces that we're producing animation films, but also producing things for businesses.
Okay. So you haven't, and do you see yourself branching out even to other cities?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do. I do want to plant a seed here in Memphis, but I do see myself going to different areas in different cities.
Most companies kind of fail within those first 3 to 5 years. What would you say has been your success that it have lasted now, going on 5 or 6 years in the midst of a pandemic?
If I'm being honest, number one, God, of course, because like to be honest, I wouldn't have gotten this far like by myself. And then another thing, just really kind of learning the market, learning my ideal customers, learning about what they need, making sure that they achieve their goals. So being real customer oriented, I think, had because we're focused on getting them results. Making
Okay.
sure like first thing first, what asking them what do they want, what does success look like for them, what do they want to achieve, and then really just making laser focus on that. So like we're real customer oriented.
What's been the best thing that you've done for your mom?
For my mom, well, I try to do a lot of good things, but we made an animated video, so to celebrate her, like for her birthday, and so I wanted to kind of take the skills that I've learned and kind of give her a gift of that as well, because she's poured into me, so kind of want to do a little something pour back into her.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, look, you've been listening to Church Forward Conversation. Let me know what you think and connect with me on my website, social media. Be sure to subscribe to my e-newsletter so that you don't miss out on more ways to live your life outside of the box. Stay tuned for more conversation that will inspire you to do the unthinkable.